Yes, people, before the video starts, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who supported my first video. Big shout out to everyone who's liked it, subscribed, and I just want to keep this going. So go click that button, like and subscribe, share the video with your friends, and yeah, let's get into the video.
Let's go! That one goes down!
Anything's possible! Anything's possible!
Yes, people, welcome to this week's video with me, TomGetsBuckets. So, this week was supposed to be a different video, but a few issues with my computer, software. Anyone who makes videos knows the sort of issues that can come up. I had to reinstall software, and that's doing it in the background right now. So, hopefully, the original video planned for this week will be out next week. So I wanted to make sure the video was right for you guys instead of just throwing it together sort of like this. But we move. We have this week how I got into basketball. And it's, for me, it's quite weird. I sort of fell off the basketball wagon from the ages of about 16 to about 18, and then I started really get back into it. And then sort of before then it was just a school thing. You sort of played in PE. I enjoyed it. I used to do after school clubs, and there was a team back way back, looking about early 2000s, and I was playing for a team called MK Lions. But it was only for like a month or so before they just vanished, like never heard from them again. They stopped turning up to the school and whatnot. And I sort of never really I didn't know enough to go back into it. Sorry. So hopefully this video sort of helps anyone who's trying to get into basketball. Obviously the pandemic, but afterwards, just do it. So let's start off from scratch. I was just getting into high school. I went to a high school where normally your families, if you have older family, they go to the same school. And my older cousin, he was on the basketball team, and he's a massive Kobe fan, like the biggest Kobe fan I have ever met. And rest in peace, Cobes. So we will talk about this for a bit because it was something that was very important for me. I was at 13, you're not very tall. And I was playing with like year 10s, year 11s, who are massive. So I sort of learned my trade of shooting from there. You have to shoot over men, like when you're a boy, pretty much. So after that, I started going harder and harder in our PE sessions. And then soon there was this coach called Michael. I can't remember his last name for the life of me, but he was the most sound guy. He was like, come to the after school club. I was obviously a bit nervous being a bit smaller then, but I thought, screw it, let's go. And then really got into it. And then soon that was becoming my main sport. And then all of a sudden, it all disappeared. The after school club disappeared. Michael disappeared. I was gutted. And then slowly I started going back more into football because there wasn't really a basketball outlet. You had courts, but they weren't well maintained. There was like potholes in the middle of the court. Like where I grew up, it wasn't a very nice place. So we moved on a couple of years, and I'm really getting into my basketball again. I'm playing 2K. I remember back in the day, there was a game called NBA Courtside on the GameCube. I swear, even as a Celtics fan, if you had AI, nuts, you would not lose a game. And I played that when I was young, for hours a day. And I think that was my first memory of basketball. So moving on to the future now. I'm about 14, 15, been out of the game for about a year. And I was up late one night and I was flicking through the telly, and the Celtics were on. And I'm like, oh, I haven't watched basketball for a while. So I was sitting there watching it, and it came to me, the love I felt for that game. I was watching the three. And if you're a Celtics fan, you know who the three are. You got KG, you got Paul Pierce, and you got Ray Allen. These guys were a super team. There's no undenying it. So 2008 won the title. This was the year I really fell in love with it. I know people are going to say, oh, because of the glory. It wasn't, because I started watching this middle of the season. And I was just like blown away. And that was it. I was hooked again. And I stayed up late because at that age you can do that. It's a bit harder now, but we always still carry on trying to do it. So, especially like you see the guys on Twitter, like you see the same people tweeting throughout the nights. And all I got to say is mad love for everyone who does that, and people who answer my tweets. And yeah, it's just, I mean, a basketball fan in the UK is hard, but you do it because you love the game. So then we're moving on. So I started playing basketball every day. Just no one in my area liked basketball. No one. It felt like no one in my town liked basketball. So I was the only person at the court. Like, there was nothing to do. So I was playing around the key, just practicing my shots, and it never went anywhere. I just done it because I loved it. And it's quite sad looking back on it, because I wish there was people my age now helping kids like that, because the game, the government don't help. We know this in the UK. The government are not going to help us. We've got to try and influence kids who like the game to play. So that's a whole nother video, because the way the government treats basketball in the UK is criminal. But we move on. So roll on a couple of years, just sort of playing by myself, and we come to this year. I decided to start, last year, 2020. I started a basketball Twitter. Yeah, it's not the biggest, but I enjoy it. It's, for me, it makes me feel good. You interact with so many people that on the street, you just can't go up to people and just start having a conversation. But on here, everyone's a community. They all love the same things. Like, yeah, everyone loves different teams. Everyone has their own opinions. But we're all there for the same reason. We love the sport. Like, I moved from Bedfordshire to Leicestershire, and the amount of money the council are putting in Leicestershire for basketball is unreal. There's about 7-8 courts here, and this is just a tiny, tiny village / town in Leicestershire. And I was amazed. So I'm out there balling now on my own. It feels like I'm 13 again. But as soon as it starts, the pandemic's over, I know there's going to be guys there. You've got Leicester, you've got Loughborough, you've got everywhere. So hopefully, if you're watching this, people, give me a shout. Let's hoop. I just wanted to give a massive thank you to everyone who's watched my video from last week. It was such a big thing for me to put out as a confidence booster. Like, anyone who knows me personally knows that sometimes I do struggle with it. I'm man enough to say I struggle with my confidence. And sometimes it's not as easy to put yourself out there. But through Twitter and YouTube, I feel more comfortable in myself doing this. So I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who commented, liked, even subscribed. All the people on the Facebook groups that I speak to, it's too many. Mainly off the backboard because I use their group. I was speaking to a few of the guys on there, and amazing. The response really took me back. I didn't expect such a welcoming response to me trying to put myself out there, because who wants to listen to some random big guy who supports the Celtics and wears a Jordan hat? But I'm so happy you guys are doing it. Please keep following my Twitter, subscribe to my YouTube. Hopefully, I hope you won't mind me saying, but my missus buying me an Xbox Series X, so bring on the 2K videos, because I know she wants to see those. She wants to see me raging how bad I am at 2K. But yeah, there's a lot more to come from this channel, and I can't wait to go on this journey with you guys. And yeah, see you next week. See ya.